this is the problem with traditional job interviews. They're extremely artificial. They're probably the most artificial encounter, certainly, I've ever had, where like it's this stupid dance of I ask a canned question that you were expecting, you give me a canned answer that I was expecting. You know what I mean? What I'd recommend if you want to cut through this kind of crap, and congratulations, by the way, because a lot of employers don't, not for worker level jobs, is you treat people like you're hiring for a management level position, which is it's unstructured generally, and you just try and get to know them. Now, the problem is that it's more labor intensive. It takes you more time for a start. It's the equivalent of doing informational interviews with somebody, right? It's the same thing in the sense that you're starting from their resume, right? So, that's kind of the idiot's guide to how to do a job interview. If you're a new manager, you've never done a job interview before, like you've never conducted a job interview before, you don't know what to do, and maybe you haven't had a chance to prepare, you're just like, oh, okay, the person's in front of you, I haven't had a chance to prepare at all for this. You plonk their resume down on the table, and you just ask them questions about what you see. It says here that you have 5 years experience being in this role. Tell me about that. What did you do? Or why did your career take that turn and you ended up staying there for 5 years? What was the reason you went into this kind of work? What's the reason you ended up working there for so long? You did this kind of work. What's your strategy? What's your methodology for doing that kind of work? What's your philosophy of how that work should be done? This kind of stuff. And then you get to know the person. You get to understand some of their decisions they make, the opinions they hold, the approaches they take, some of the life decisions they've made, and their personality and opinions and preferences, right? Like that's what you're really talking about. Some of that might be overkill if you're hiring somebody at the worker level, but that's kind of what they do for a lot of management positions. And it's a long process because you really need to get to know the person, right? You're going to put them in charge of your baby, this group of people that generates money. And if this person screws it up, not only will those people maybe be let go, but you'll lose a ton of money and you'll alienate a ton of customers, maybe ruin your reputation in the market for a very long time. It's important you get the right person and you got to understand them. So it's a very labor intensive process, but it's very revealing. And then you can make the determination of, do you want that person? And the problem is that beyond the technical skills, there is no right or wrong answer because some people want to hire in their own image. I get along with someone who's just like me. I understand a person who's just like me. Great. The only problem is that if you fill an organization full of people that are just like you, it tends to not be as successful as if you filled it with a diversity of skill sets. People from different backgrounds, different personalities, different communication styles, this kind of thing, right? There's a lot of data that shows that is much more profitable and effective. It's more challenging for how to manage the organization, but it's more effective if you can do it right. So then it's up to you who you want to hire, but at least you see more of what you're getting. And if you have unstructured conversations with people, they tend to let their guard down. After the first hour or so, they tend to drop their guard. And they'll just be honest with you, like you're talking to a friend, and assuming you do it properly. And, you really get to see who that person is. You get to see all their strengths and maybe some liabilities there,